So, yeah, I hope all is well. So, I hadn't read from the Silmarillion in a little bit, so I wanted to just finish up the letter that I was reading and then go ahead and start with the part about the music and then just go through. I think I'm only going to do it for about 10 minutes because I have a bunch of different videos I need to work on. So, last time, sorry. So last time I stopped at the part of the letter where it says the others they tried to destroy. So in the resulting war between Sauron and the elves, Middle-earth, especially in the west, was further ruined. Eregion was captured and destroyed, and Sauron seized many rings of power. These he gave for their ultimate corruption and enslavement to those who would accept them out of ambition or greed. Hence the ancient rhyme that appears as the leitmotif of the Lord of the Rings. 3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. Sauron became thus almost supreme in Middle-earth. The elves held out in secret places not yet revealed. The last elf kingdom of Gil-galad is maintained precariously on the extreme west shores, where are the havens of the ships. Elrond, the half-elven son of Earendil, maintains a kind of enchanted sanctuary at Imladris in English Rivendell on the extreme eastern margin of the western lands. But Sauron dominates all the multiplying hordes of men that have had no contact with the elves, and so indirectly with the true and unfallen Valar and gods. He rules a growing empire from the great dark tower of Barad-dûr in Mordor, near to the mountain of fire, wielding the One Ring. But to achieve this, he had been obliged to let a great part of his own inherent power, a frequent and very significant motive in myth and fair story, pass into the One Ring. While he wore it, his power on earth was actually enhanced. But even if he did not wear it, that power existed and was in rapport with himself. He was not diminished, unless some others seized it and became possessed of it. If that happened, the new possessor could, if sufficiently strong and heroic by nature, challenge Sauron, become master of all that he had learned or done since the making of the One Ring, and so overthrow him, and usurp his place. This was the essential weakness he had introduced into his situation, in his effort, largely unsuccessful, to enslave the elves, and in his desire to establish a control over the minds and the wills of his servants. There was another weakness. If the One Ring was actually annihilated, then its power would be dissolved. Sauron's own being would be diminished to vanishing point, and he would be reduced to a shadow, a mere memory of malicious will, but that he never contemplated nor feared. The ring was unbreakable by any smithcraft less than his own. It was indissoluble in any fire, save the undying subterranean fire where it was made, and that was unapproachable in Mordor. Also, so great was the ring's power of lust that anyone who used it became mastered by it, cast it away, or neglected. So he thought. It was any case on his finger. Thus, as the second age draws on, we have a great kingdom and evil theocracy, For Sauron is also god of his slaves, growing up in the Middle Earth. In the West, actually the Northwest, is the only part clearly envisaged in those tales, lie the precarious refuges of the elves, while men in those parts remain more or less uncorrupted, if ignorant. The better and nobler sort of men are in fact the kin of those that had departed to Numenor, but remain in a simple, Homeric state of patriarchal and tribal life. Meanwhile, Numenor has grown in wealth, wisdom, and glory under its lines of great kings and long life, directly descended from Elros, Erendil's son, brother of Elrond. The downfall of Numenor, the second fall of man, or man rehabilitated but still mortal, brings on the catastrophic end, not only of the Second Age, but of the old world, the primeval world of legend, envisaged as flat and bounded. After which the Third Age began, a twilight age, a medium evum, the first of the broken and changed world, the last of the lingering dominion of the visible, fully incarnate elves, and the last also in which evil assumes a single dominant incarnate shape. The downfall is partly the result of an inner weakness in men, consequent, if you will, upon the first fall, unrecorded in these tales, repented but not finally healed. Reward on earth is more dangerous for men than punishment. The fall is achieved by the cunning of Sauron in exploiting this weakness. Its central theme is inevitably, I think, in a story of men, a ban or a prohibition. So, yeah, I thought I would probably get a little further, but it looks like I may not finish the whole thing. So I just am going to break shortly, and most people are going to watch this on the replay. So I'm working on, and I've kind of done a poll. I'm working on, I would say, I don't know how many videos, at least two. One is on Galadriel that I've been working on for a little bit, and I'm going to take as long as it takes to do it. And then I took a look at the poll, and I think probably I'm also going to take a look at the Valar a little bit and talk about them, and that's not going to be right away, but that's one of the things that I've been looking at. And then there are other ones that that I have been actively working on, and I think with like some of them, I don't know if I'm going for perfection, but I think like I just want to do a decent job on some of them, and so like I'm taking a longer time. And I think outside of that, I don't know if, I'm hoping probably I'm in a pattern now where I think like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like usually like the weekends is the easiest for releases. And let's see what else I want to talk about. I think that's about it. I think I'll do a little bit more reading, and then I'm going to go ahead and stop. So let's see. Okay, yeah, the Numenorians dwell within far sight of the easternmost immortal land, Erisea, and also the only men to speak an Elvish tongue, learned in the days of their alliance. They are in constant communication with their ancient friends and allies, either in the bliss of Erisea or Erisea, or in the kingdom of Gil-galad on the shores of Middle-earth. They became thus in appearance and even the powers of mind hardly distinguishable from the elves, but they remain mortal even though rewarded by a triple or more than a triple span of years. Their reward is their undoing or the means of their temptation. Their long life adds their achievements in art and wisdom. but breeds a possessive attitude to these things, and desire awakes for more time for their enjoyment. Foreseeing this in part, the gods lay a ban on the Numenorians from the beginning. They must never sail to the Air Sea, nor westward out of the sight of their own land. In all other directions they could go as they would. They must not set foot on immortal lands, and so... Hey, thanks so much. Thank you. They must not set foot on immortal lands, and so become enamored of an immortality within the world, which was against their law, the special doom or gift of Iluvatar, and it's Eru Iluvatar, and which their nature could in fact endure. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going over the time I wanted to do this. I think I'm going to get back into doing this. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for the beautiful comment. Later.